Today we're talking about something relevant for anyone in the fitness space, and that's how to actually find a good coach. Because there's a lot of coaches out there, and not all of them are created equal. It's actually a major problem in the industry, which is very unfortunate. And I talk to a lot of people who've gotten burnt. I've gotten burnt, which I'll kind of talk about, and just wasted thousands of dollars, months or years of bouncing from one program to another, picked the wrong coach, or just didn't know what to look for. So today we wanted to break down how to avoid those things, how to find a coach that's actually going to get you results, and kind of spot some of those red flags before you get into something that doesn't necessarily serve you.
All right. So, one thing, Mackenzie, we had talked about like right after we recorded the last podcast, it was on Thanksgiving. And we were like, you know what we should have talked about, which would probably one of the most important things was gratitude.
I don't know how we missed it.
I mean, it's literally like us, like right when we ended the recording, we were like, we didn't even talk about gratitude and being thankful for everything we have. Like that's what Thanksgiving is all about. So we thought it'd be a good idea to go ahead and discuss it now.
Better late than never.
Better late than never. It's actually good timing because shout out to one of our superstars, Tim. I was doing his check-in today, and he actually had talked about he just listed like all these amazing things that are happening in his life, and then he kind of paused and he's like, now that I'm reading all this, I really should be thankful for everything. I mean, I should have so much gratitude for all the amazing things in my life.
I did see that actually. I was looking through that today. I'm like, that's a good point. Good little reframe there.
Yeah, for sure. So I was telling him too. I was like, that's one thing I'm really working on is to have more gratitude. And we've talked about this in the past, but I'm trying to, whenever I pray, like I've tried to thank him for all the amazing blessings that are in my life instead of complaining a bunch. And it's a work in progress, but I'm trying to also be better at when I am complaining about something in life. I'm trying to slow myself down or stop myself and say, okay, look, is this really worth complaining about, or is this something that really needs to ruin my day when there's so many other things in my life that I could be thankful for? And it really is. It's almost impossible to be complaining about something and also be super thankful for something at the same time, And so I think it's just better just to be like, okay, you know what? Why don't we just think about all the amazing things that are going on in my life and really put my focus on that instead of the stupid little things that are annoying me.
hmm And I think even when you find yourself getting annoyed or frustrated, it's like you can spin that. It's like the fact that you're even in that position and dealing with that sort of frustration or issue or whatever it is like there's a million things you can be grateful for that put you in that exact position. Like even if you're in traffic, it's like thank God I have a car. I'm able to go and do these things as opposed to being like, oh man, everyone's so annoying, everyone's in my way. So I feel like you can always spin it that way too.
Yeah, and it's not like you just have to be like everything is roses and sunshine, like everything's perfect, even though there's a lot of stuff going on in your life. But it really is. You're right. Like you wake up and you're like, oh, I gotta go to work. There's a lot of people who don't have jobs right now, so
Mhm.
you'd be thankful for that. So there's always a way to appreciate the things that you have and have more of a positive attitude towards what you're going through.
Yeah. I try to have that practice daily as well. Like I do that in my prayer as well. That's like kind of the first part of it. And then also in my journal, that's always my first part of it too. And then I've been trying to do a lot more just like praying and gratitude throughout the day as well. Just especially before calls, after calls, just like just thank you for allowing me to connect with this person or like bring them on as a client, be able to serve them. Like whatever it is, just like trying to stop myself in the middle of the day and just sit and reflect a little bit because I feel like it's so easy to get, at least for me, I just rush from one thing to another. I don't have a second to think or breathe, and everything just blurs together. So just trying to create more space in between my day and work items and calls and all that.
And I think I mentioned this before. I may have or may not have on this podcast, but I was listening to someone speak one time, and they were talking about like how do you deal with like the tough things in your life or the difficulties, the challenges. And he was like, we focus so much on the negatives that if we really sit back and think about it, there's so much good in our life, but there's so much good all the time. It just becomes like white noise. It just kind of becomes that
Mm-hmm.
background. And so those negative things, those challenges, the things that are really difficult, those are the things that are like front and center and take all our attention. When in reality, there's all these other amazing things in our life that those are the things that we need to be focusing on. But it just happens all the time. We just start ignoring it in a way.
Yeah, we take it for granted. I think it's easy too. It's like even if you like car example, like if you get a new car in the beginning, you're like, oh my God, so amazing. And then, months or years in, it's just like your car, you don't think about it anymore. So I feel like it's natural to do that. So taking the step back and reflecting and again, just pausing, be like, okay, everything is amazing. Like all these things, so grateful for it.
Yes. All right. So, speaking of amazing, tell us about some volleyball stuff. I know that's got to be like top of your head, amazing things.
You're not wrong. Well, last weekend it was fun. I had a glow in the dark volleyball tournament, which was very different, but it was a fun vibe.
Yeah, that sounds awesome. So, tell us what I mean, like glow in the dark. Like, was the ball glow in the dark, or like what was going on?
Yeah. So, yeah, it was dark out. They had like black lights instead of regular lights, and so everyone wore like neon or white or whatever, so they're like kind of lit up. And then we had glow in the dark volleyballs, and then like the lines for the court were just like Christmas lights almost. So it was it was the fun thing is you can't get too competitive in those types of games, which is good for me because sometimes I just get too frustrated and get in my head because like I want to win. But with that, it's like
Hold on,
it's
hold
glow in
on,
the dark
hold on.
volleyball.
Is there such a thing as being too competitive? Let's be
You make
honest.
some good points. And no, but I just mean it like sometimes I get too in my head. I get too serious, and then I kind of like bring down the energy. Like I don't want to be that person, but like I
Right.
just get super into it, and I want to win. But with that, it's like it's you're really just having fun. It's like you can't take it too seriously. You can't get too mad about it, which is kind of good. I think it was a good change of pace for me, and it was just very interesting because like yeah, you could see the ball, but just like because you can't really see anything else, it's just weird. Like your perception, like everything just felt off, but it was kind of fun.
I imagine you definitely have to have a way different mindset, like going into that.
Yeah, yeah, and then yeah, it was just very interesting, but it was a fun time. Like it was a good time, and it was fours instead of twos, so a lot less taxing on my body. So it was a good little break from the normal volleyball stuff. But I do have a regular tournament coming up this weekend, so we're taking that one very seriously. I'm locking in there.
Back to the game, gamer there, right?
Yep. How about you? Anything else going on in your world?
No, just getting ready for Thanksgiving break coming up pretty soon. We got a few more days of school. The kids are trying to hold it together.
Oh yeah. Do you have a countdown going on?
We always have a countdown going on.
Something
We
for
have
something.
yes, countdown going on for Thanksgiving break. Then we have a countdown going on for Christmas break. Then after that, I'm gonna bowl out the summer break. Well, we'll spring break too. We'll do summer break for sure in the corner. We gotta make sure that we're ready for that. But yeah, so no, it's been good.
Nice. And I also wanted to highlight one of our newest clients, our scholarship winner, Joe. He has been freaking crushing it. We were just 2 weeks in. He's already 5 pounds down. He said his energy is just through the roof. His stress is way lower. And yeah, just noticing all these like downstream benefits from that. So it's just been amazing to see. Literally just 2 weeks in, and he's freaking on fire. So I'm so excited for him and just the continued growth that he's going to see over the next few months.
Yeah, that's awesome, Joe. And you start off with 5 pounds down, but for me, like what hit me, it was energy through the roof. I mean, you know that means like you're feeling so much better throughout the day, and stress lower, especially now. I just feel like that is such a huge win, right?
Hmm.
To lower that stress, and that kind of goes with energy. You're going to feel better throughout the day, and from there, there's just going to be so many trickle down effects that are just so positive.
Yeah, no, it's amazing to see. He's a man. Such a solid start already. So, yeah, I'm just really fired up about that and just love that he's so committed and like all in on this scholarship opportunity, just making the absolute most of it. So, it's going to be epic.
Yeah, so keep crushing it, Joe. And who's Joe working with?
Kate.
Okay, great job, Kate. That's
Yep.
awesome.
Dream team
That's,
right there.
yeah, that's awesome. That's really cool. So
Yeah,
that's
we've
awesome.
had so many awesome people joining. I think we're down to like the last spot of the partial scholarships too. So it's just been amazing to see everyone coming on. Just so many incredible people just ready to lock in going into 2026 and beyond. So I'm really fired up.
Yeah, I'm excited. Great things ahead for sure.
Yep. But yeah, speaking of coaching, I feel like coaching in general has exploded over the last few years, which is awesome because more people are getting help. I feel like fitness is obviously something that's never going to go away, especially when just the health of our entire nation and just world as a whole just seems to be on the trend down. So that also means though there's a lot of unqualified people that are tend to give some bad advice or just maybe aren't like fully meant to be coaches that are coaching people. So that's kind of what we want to talk about today.
Yeah, like you mentioned, it's exploded in the last few years, and a lot of that has to do with technology and social media. 20 years ago, if you wanted a trainer, you went to the gym, and the trainer that you met with had to have certifications. They had to have some in-house training. They were there all the time. It's very different nowadays. You have all kinds of people, whether they have any kind of background in exercise science or kinesiology, anything like that. It doesn't matter. They're just out there. If they have six-pack abs, then they're showing it off, and they're like, "This is, you want to look at like me? Here's how it is." And so there's just a lot more out there, and it's really hard to tell like who's very qualified and who's not. So we've seen people charging like thousands for just cookie cutter programs, or coaches, like I said, who kind of really look the part, but really have no understanding or knowledge of the physiology or nutrition or science or human behavior, which may even be more important than all that.
Hmm.
So there's a lot out there, and I can only imagine from the consumer side of things, it's so confusing because there are a lot of people who need a coach and want a coach, but they're like, who do I go with? Like,
Hmm.
which person do I, team up with? And how do I know I'm getting the right person and not just spinning my wheels or wasting my money?
Hmm. Yeah, and I think that's where the issue tends to be, or at least kind of where I think a lot of this stems from, is just social media too, because people build a big following, they become these fitness influencers, and then they think that that naturally translates, like, oh, like I can just coach people.
Hmm.
But it's very different to like sell a program or be an influencer and then actually be able to coach someone effectively. Like it's not just having a six pack or getting that certification. So, I mean, like, and to be fair, like, I kind of went down that same road. It's like I grew an audience and then transitioned into coaching, but that, like, it was never like, I never had an intent of being an influencer. It's like I wanted to impact people. I just didn't know what that road was going to be until I got to that point. And then I obviously did extensive studying and research and like certifications and working with other coaches to become a good coach and be able to build what it is now. So I think, like you said, it's more about understanding people and human behavior as opposed to just being able to like get in shape yourself or get that six pack because you're not just guiding someone's workouts, you're helping them navigate the mindset, the habits, the lifestyle, everything that goes into that.
And reality is now with AI and everything, if you want a workout, you can easily find a workout. I mean, it's not like you need to go to a coach for a workout. So we're not just giving you workouts and saying, here, do this. I mean, like you said, a lot of it has to do with human behavior and learning how to work with someone, and all their individual challenges that they're having to go through, and how to fit their lifestyle. And everyone has a very different lifestyle. You can't just AI that.
Oh
So
yeah.
when you're choosing that coach, you're going to have to look way beyond the before and after photos. You're going to have to look way beyond how they look. You're going to have to understand how they get the results, not just like what they do.
Hmm. And we wanted to do this episode because this has been very top of mind for me because I've shared, like, I hired a coach recently, again, for fitness, and I've hired various business coaches in the past. And especially with the fitness coach recently, it's just been like an absolute shit show, even for me trying to find a coach. And so, like, I was getting super frustrated and wasting money and all this stuff. I'm like, yo, how, if I'm struggling this much, like I can't imagine what other people are feeling experiencing. So like I feel like we need to talk about this and also go through some of maybe the pitfalls that I didn't look out for to make sure that people, have that understanding when they're going and looking trying to find a coach that's aligned with them.
Yeah. Do you want to share any of the frustrations that you had? Some of the things that you dealt with, especially if it was surprising.
Yeah. Well, first, like when it comes, I think in general, like coaching, it's like kind of all the same things apply. This one's going to be geared more towards fitness, but like I've mentioned in the past, like I've gotten burned by a ton of business coaches. There's a big, well-known company, well-known guy in particular. I'm not going to name names, but just um, not a very good person and just basically like scammed everyone. Like it wasn't just me; it was like everyone in that program where we invested like 25, $30,000 into it and just didn't get anything out of it. So just stuff like that has been super crazy. And then it was like a whole thing. Like his company, like he sold it and like it was burning down and then he bought it back. So it's just a lot of chaos on that end. So it's like I have bad experiences with that. But then when it comes to fitness coaches, like recently I hired this. Okay, and to be fair, it's all on me. It's like I didn't do a ton of research. I just kind of went off what people recommended, just because I feel like referrals are usually like the best bet because like someone's gone through it, they have the experience, and if it's someone you trust, then naturally you're gonna trust them. And so that was kind of my experience with that. But I signed on with this well-known like hybrid athlete guy, and he just didn't give any feedback, literally nothing. I would ask questions or send him the information that he wanted and just nothing back, which is absolutely mind blowing as a coach because that communication is that's our core, that's my core value, it's our core value as a company. It's like the number one thing. And so I was just I was spending like an absurd amount of money. Like he was charging so much money just to not give feedback. So I don't know what. I was just very confused by that for one.
Yeah, that's one thing that we really want to focus on with our clients is communication. And we want them to communicate with us, and we want to be able to communicate as well as possible with them.
Yeah. And by the way, like sharing all my experiences here, like I don't mean to bad talk anyone. I don't mean to talk down anyone. Like every coach, like clearly they have something that works for them. They have their own method and systems of doing stuff, and it just does not align with me at all. And so like maybe they're fine doing their thing and it works for their clients, which is great. Like I don't mean to talk down. It's just like this is my experience and I've been very frustrated with it over the last like years with business coaching and then recently with the fitness coaching. So I just feel like it's good to talk about. Because yeah, that one was just baffling. Just because he's such a like a well-known, reputable guy, and just like I literally cannot wrap my head around how you don't want to communicate or don't want to give any sort of feedback. It just doesn't make sense. I don't know how you're going to get anywhere with that. And then the other one that I switched to, kind of same thing. Like it just you could tell she just had too many clients on her roster and just like couldn't give the intention and focus that she needed. I think like me seeing like the business side and running our things, like I kind of see like where the disconnect is. But it just seemed like she was just not intentional at all. Like forgot things that she'd programmed for me. I'd tell her like I'm doing stuff. She's like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" I'm like, "You literally told me to do that." So it's just like a disconnect. I'm like, go look at your notes. Like it takes 2 seconds to go in and check that. And just like I just felt like she didn't listen, didn't care. I think it was maybe she just had too much on her plate. So yeah, I was just a little bit frustrated with that and just not feeling heard and supported at all. And so then I ended up switching, and now third time's a charm. I think so far it's going great. So I'll report back later on that.
Oh gosh. Well, yeah, definitely let us know. But that's what we're going to do today. We're going to talk about like what to look for, all the things that make a really good coach, because there are a lot of really good coaches out there.
Yes.
And obviously, we would love to work with as many clients as possible. And if you're listening to this, we'd love to work with you. But we also know that there are other coaches out there that may be a better fit or may work well for you. So we're going to talk about what to look for. That's a good thing. And then also we're going to look for some kind of like talk about red flags, maybe just things to look for that maybe probably not the best fit for you.
Yeah, and I think that's a good point. There are like, yes, there's a lot of bad coaches out there, but there are so many amazing coaches. Like I've
Yeah.
connected with so many, so it's like they're definitely out there. It's just like you got to know what to look for. You got to trust your gut on certain things too. But yeah, as far as green flags, things to look out for, I think for one, they ask the right questions. Like they're gonna take time to truly understand you, your lifestyle, your goals, your schedule, stress, experience level, everything before giving you a plan. If they're just handing you macros or workouts without learning about you and really doing that deep dive, I think that's a major red flag.
Yeah, like we mentioned, everyone has such a unique life and unique experience, unique background, unique needs. And so you really need to understand your client and understand what they need, what they want, what they've done in the past, what they're looking for in the future, and to be able to really individualize that program. So they really need to ask a lot of questions to find out about that individual.
Yeah, and I always tell people too when they're joining or new clients that come on, it's like the plan is meant to adapt with you and your life. Is not just like even once we go and we get the information, we build stuff out for you. It's like every single week we're checking in and seeing. It's like how are you doing with it? Is it manageable? Is it sustainable? What do you have going on? Is it a crazy work week? You know, what are the time constraints? Are you traveling? All these things. So it's like constantly molding and adjusting based on your lifestyle. And so like a good coach is going to be super in tune with that and just you be a part of your life so that way they know and can help you navigate everything that comes up.
Yeah. So number two is kind of related to that. It's, like we said, communicate clearly and consistently. So you should feel like your coach actually listens and checks in and wants to know about your life. They should explain the whys behind what you're doing, not just say, "Hey, here's a plan and do it." You really should feel that your coach is invested not only in your health journey but also in your life as a whole. I feel like there's obviously if you're hiring a fitness coach, you want them to help you with your fitness journey, but I think they should really be invested in your life in general, and that's going to affect your health journey as well. So the communication is super important.
Yeah, because it really it's not just macros or trains. Like fitness is your entire life. Like, all the different pieces tie together. So it's not just one thing or another. So it is so important to be in tune with that. And yeah, communication just so important. That's always the thing that I reiterate to every single person that comes on is as long as you communicate, we're going to be just fine because we'll be able to navigate whatever comes up. You just got to let us know. You got to let us into your life and be able to let us help you. And then next one is focus on education and not just dependency because ultimately the best coaches don't want you to rely on them forever. Like the goal is to get you to be able to do this on your own and have success long term in your own life without having to rely on us. So like we want to teach you how to eventually do it on your own.
Yeah, we develop the relationships with our clients and we absolutely love them. And it's so much fun walking through that journey with them. Ideally, we want to be able to set it up so that we've taught them and we've grown with them and they've learned from us so that if they want to go on their own, they can. Now, of course, if they're like, I can do this on my own, but I love working with you, I want to do it forever. Awesome, let's do it. But
Yeah.
we do, and there's a lot of just different life circumstances, but we do want to get to the point where, hey, you know what? You've taught me to that I can do this on my own. You've taught me everything that I need to learn, and I can do this on my own as well, and not have to rely on someone else.
Yeah, so true. I know, and I like we freaking love our clients. Like I have a lot too. They're like, I'm gonna like they know they can do it on their own, but like I just like I love working together. I love having the structure. It's like we build that relationship. So I was like, I'm just gonna be working with you forever. I'm like, all right, cool. Like as long as you're good with that. So yeah, it is cool when that happens. But yeah, we want to make sure that you still know how to navigate stuff and be able to adjust with life. And then it just depends on what you're looking for. It's like if you want to just get yourself set up and then go and do your own thing, awesome. That's what we're here for. If you want that deep relationship, you want to keep growing and building and doing it together, we're here for that too. So it's the fun part. It's like you get to make it your own journey and whatever is going to be best for you.
Yeah, that goes perfectly into number four is they adapt the plan to you. So a good coach will adapt the plan to fit your lifestyle, right? So coaches need to meet you where you are. With your training, nutrition, that should all fit your specific lifestyle, not force you into something that is not going to be sustainable or realistic for your life. So, for example, you travel a lot, you have kids, you work long hours, your coach should build around all that. So the coach really needs to make sure that the plan that they create for you works within your lifestyle. And also, I think the coach should be able to adapt to a changing lifestyle
Mm-hmm.
where, wherever you are when they start the journey together. I also feel like it's probably going to change. Maybe they have different uh, travel schedules throughout the year, or maybe they have a new job, or maybe they get married, or now they have kids. So the coach needs to be able to adapt to your changing lifestyle as well.
Yeah, for sure. And I think one thing we were talking about too is like even better if they have in-person experience because I feel like you get to see so many different types of people, just so many different cases. You learn a lot more working in person than going on to online. I know you have experience with both. What are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, so I started off as an in-person only, and I think, and now I do both. But I think the biggest, the thing that I've learned the most from it is the human behavior aspect of it.
Mm.
Being able to meet with someone in person and learning what struggles they're going through and what kind of things to look for as we're working out and what kind of things that I need to look for and think about when my clients are going to be online clients are going to be working out without me and kind of troubleshoot those type of things and think ahead. Okay, what might be an issue that they might have, things like that. So you can definitely be a good trainer without working with someone in person. But I do think it helps. I think it helps to be able to start working with clients in person and then move forward to the online part. But it's fun working with that person one on one in front of them too. So you develop a great relationship that way too.
Yeah, for sure. That's one thing I wish I did because I just went right to online, and that's one thing like I know the value of working in person for that reason. So it's like one thing I kind of wish I did at one point. But also, like you said, I think that human behavior is so important. It's not just about being able to program or just know how to get someone in shape. It's like that's the easy part. It's being able to navigate because we always joke around too. It's like we're kind of like therapists to some extent too. It's like you're like we're trainers, we're therapists. Like it's everything tied together. So it's so important to like work on those deeper identity shifts and just relationships with food and self. And like there's so many things that go into it that aren't just the workouts.
Yeah, we want to connect really well with our clients, and so I think that definitely helps to be able to do that.
Yeah, so another one to look out for is like they got to practice what they preach. I made a post about this too. It's like I don't trust a fitness coach who isn't in shape. I don't trust a business coach who hasn't built and scaled a successful business. I don't trust a relationship coach who can't hold a successful relationship or marriage or whatever. So it's like they got to walk the walk. They got to practice what they preach. Like you got to respect them and what they're doing and their habits and their lifestyle and everything.
Yeah, this one's tough because there are some stories out there where you'll see someone that maybe 100 pounds overweight and they're losing tons of weight and they decide that they really wanted to help other people and so they're kind of in that process and so you're like, well, of course that person's not going to look
Oh
like an
yeah.
amazing, um, athlete type of thing right away because they're going through that process themselves. But in general, I think they should look like they take care of themselves. They should look like they can um, practice what they preach, type of thing.
Yeah,
And
and even
again,
in
we're not talking about they all have to be like fitness competitors or bodybuilders or something like that. But if someone's like you said is just really struggling to keep off the weight, if they're really struggling to um, eat correctly, if they have poor sleep habits, they're always stressed out. I find that to be very difficult for them to be able to advise someone and give someone great structure, and that if they can't do it themselves.
yeah, exactly. Yeah, I think that's a good point to reinforce. It's like even that person you mentioned who's like on their weight loss journey. It's like they're walking the walk. They've done it. They've lost the weight. They're even if they're in the process of it, it's like they've done it. They know what it takes to go through. They know some of the pitfalls that come up, and they're able to help coach people through that. So it's like whatever niche or whatever goal you're looking for, it's like find someone who's done it, is doing it, and is successful at it.
All right, so another number five, I guess, is the coach should um, care about more than just your body, right? So what we mean by that is like we talked about earlier, about Joe. Yes, we want you to reach your goals aesthetically and look the way you want to look, but we also should really care about your energy levels, how you feel each day, your mindset, how you're working with your relationships, your confidence levels, not just your progress photos.
Yeah. And then another one, I think this might be one of the most important ones, at least for me. I go off of the vibes, to be honest. Like, that's a huge thing for me. It's like connection. Do you get along with them? Do you like them? Again, do you look up to them? Do you respect what they're doing? Um, that for me, that's the biggest thing. Because again, you are building that relationship. You're going to be talking with them very consistently. If they're good, you have that communication. So like, you want someone that you get along well with, that you want to talk with, that gets you, understands you. I think that's so important.
Yeah, also kind of a side note too, I think it's okay to meet a coach and realize, hey, they're a really great coach, but we just don't connect well. And instead of being like, well, they're such a good coach and I can tell they're a great coach, maybe I should just stay with them. Like you said, you really want to have that connection. If you're going to spend all this time, all this energy, all this money working with someone, it's basically like they're another teammate in life. You want to make sure that your personalities connect well, that you feel like they understand you, and that you want to work with them. You want to
Mhm.
see them and you want to talk to them.
Yeah, and I think that was the main issue with that second coach that I was mentioning, where she just, again, maybe had too much on her plate. Also, I think our just communication styles, our personalities just didn't match well, and so like there's someone else just a little bit of a better fit, and that's totally fine. And then another side note too is I think it's important to look at what their process is. How specifically do they get you from point A to point B? Because like we need to have a plan, we need to have a structure, and at least for us, like I'm sure many, like we've walked through people on the podcast, but we have our three phases. We have our groundbreaker phase where we're going and rebuilding the foundation, make sure we have all the right habits, like shifting the identity, working on relationship with self, food, reducing stress, improving energy, all the things to have that solid foundation to then go into unbreakable results and see all those insane physical changes and make it as easy as possible. And then we don't just stop there, because that's where a lot of people can get stuck in that cycle. And then we want to go into unbreakable lifestyle where we truly make it automatic and something that is sustainable for the rest of your life. So that way you never have to worry about falling off again. So it's like we have these phases in place for a reason because it's so effective. So it's like, see what kind of process, like, see how they're actually going to help get you where you want to go. I think that's so important to look for as well.
Yeah, it's just like everything else that we talk about, right? Whether it's your workouts, or whether you're going out to eat, whatever it may be, you need to have a plan going into it. And if you don't have a plan, it's very difficult to be successful. And as coaches ourselves, like what we pride ourselves on, we really look for like a lifestyle first approach, right? So everything we do is very individualized. We build our everything around the client's life, their work schedule, their family, their goals, just in every aspect of life. And it's like we said, it's not really just macros and workouts. It's really creating that and building that structure that someone can live with and someone can see themselves living with forever, right? And like we said, we're going to adapt, we're going to change, we're going to adjust, but it should be very sustainable. So we will focus heavily on education, mindset, communication, and our clients are constant contact with us, right? Sending us form videos or just sharing feedback, making adjustments weekly. And it again does not have to necessarily be about our workouts. It could be a picture from a vacation that they're on, and sharing, what they're doing there. So we love to hear all kinds of things about our clients. And again, we want to invest in not just their health journey, but their life as a whole. And we want to make sure that they feel like we are a teammate with them in life. So we really care about them. Like we've talked about this. We love our clients. We put a lot of our own time and energy in it. And so, yeah, when we fix your energy and mindset and relationship with food and just everything else, it just gets better.
Speaking of gratitude, as we're going through this, I'm just like getting so, I don't know, like I'm just feel so emotional. Like I freaking love everyone on our team. Like all of our clients are freaking rock stars. I love them so much. I love all the updates they send. Like they're such a light in both of our lives. And so, yeah, speaking of gratitude, I'm just so freaking grateful for all of them. I'm just sitting that, just feeling that in real time here.
Yeah, I am too. And I was thinking about as we've talked about this, all our clients are so different. Which, in a way, you might be like, well, isn't that challenging to have to deal with like so many different personalities and so many different lifestyles? And you're like, yeah, but that's what makes it so much fun.
Yeah.
I should have come up with a better word, but that's what makes it so. It's just we enjoy it so much that way. I love every check-in being totally different and learning about my clients' lives and walking through all their challenges and all of their triumphs. And it's I'm kind of getting goosebumps, to be honest with you right now, just thinking about how awesome it is being teammates with them. That's really how we look at it. We're going through these journeys together, and everything that they go through, whether it's a challenge, like we feel that, we feel the heaviness on our own hearts, and then all the triumphs, like we are so excited for them, and just want to shout it out to the world how awesome they're doing.
Yeah, no, I couldn't agree more. I think you nailed it.
All right, so let's talk about red flags because, like I said, there are a lot of great coaches out there, and we want you to find a great coach. But there's also, unfortunately, a lot of people that are just not great coaches, not great trainers. We want to make sure that you avoid those for sure. So I don't know if this is considered a fun part or not, but let's talk about red flags.
Yeah, I think one is just making big promises fast. If a coach is guaranteeing, oh, 20 pounds of fat loss in the first 4 weeks or whatever it is, just run. Run from that. Coaching is a partnership and results depend on the process. And again, like if people are promising quick fixes, yeah, sure, they may get you that, but is it actually going to last? 99% of the time, it's like that's when you rebound. That's when you're stuck in that on off cycle and gain the weight back. So, um, yeah, just be mindful again. That kind of ties into what we are talking about the process and making sure that it actually works for what you're looking for. Or even just people who are pushing to make sales more than like actually the change of the client.
Yeah, you want a coach that wants to work with you and wants to help you to be able to create a sustainable lifestyle. Like you said, not just a quick fix where hey, I might lose a lot of weight at first, but I'm going to rebound and gain it all back. Like that is not what you're looking for. The next one we're talking about is someone that has just like a one size fits all plans. So if they're handing out cookie cutter workouts or just kind of like copy paste macros, they're not really coaching. They're just kind of just selling templates. And like we said, you could easily just go on AI and find that. That's not going to help you out, and that's not going to get you to where you want to be.
Yeah. Another one kind of ties into what we were saying earlier, just no education or explanation. If you find yourself asking why and not really getting a real answer, it's a huge sign that they don't really understand the science behind what they're doing or, that behavior change that we were talking about. So it's like get that education, like truly understand. Like they should be educating you along the way so that way again, like you can do this the rest of your life. You know how to navigate stuff as it comes up.
Yeah, another thing that I've noticed a lot too, especially from influencers, and I think there's a difference between like a pure influencer and like a coach, and and so a lot of times an influencer, they'll look amazing, and so you're like, I want to work with them. And so they're like, all right, well, this is what I do. This is what
Mm,
you should be doing. They basically just put you on the same program that they follow. And for a small percentage, it may be great for you, but most of the time, your lifestyle is not like theirs. And to be honest with you, a lot of these influencers, that's their job. And so they have all the time in the world, plenty of money, plenty of space that most people are like, I have a job. I
yeah.
have a lot of stressors. I have a family. I have a lot of things going on that is not like you at all.
Yeah, such a good point.
Another one is red flag. They rely on shame or guilt. So if a coach makes you feel bad for missing a workout, shames you for it, makes you feel guilty, or having a bad week, then that's not really accountability. That's kind of manipulation, and that's it's not going to make you feel good. And I don't think it's going to push you towards wanting to improve yourself.
Yeah, and there's a difference between shame and guilt and like pushing you and challenging you. So like, yeah, we're gonna challenge you. Like, in order to change your identity, change these habits, like it's gonna be uncomfortable because you're stepping into things that are unknown. You're addressing some of these deeper issues or just ways that you've been wired with for so long. So it is gonna be challenging. It is gonna be uncomfortable. We're gonna push you, but it's out of like it's still with kindness and love and support as opposed to be like, oh, like you piece of shit, like why didn't you do that? You know, it's very different than using. Obviously, like no one goes to that extreme, but I mean, I'm sure there are some, but it's like that's exaggeration. But it's like it's coming from a good place, but we're still gonna push and challenge you.
Yeah, no, that's so well said. We want everything to come from a place of, hey, we want the best from you, and so we want to improve you and challenge you in the best possible ways, not from a we want to punish you for the things you've not done correctly.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then too, like if you're struggling with something, that's where that communication comes in. It's like, okay, you weren't able to get in a workout. Like, what happened? Like, let's dive into it. Like, what was it? The schedule, or like, was it too? Like, what happened? So that way we can adjust and make sure that you can be consistent and feel aligned going forward. So it's all about that communication. Number five, again, they don't practice what they preach. I think this is just so important. Again, a great coach doesn't need to be perfect. Like I always share about the stuff that I'm struggling with. Like I definitely go through cycles where I'm not doing well on sleep or just like my physique doesn't look the way I want. So it's like we all go through our own things, but it's like they overall should live the lifestyle that they're teaching. If they don't take care of themselves, if they aren't managing the stress or keeping their own habits in check, that's usually a red flag. And it's just like, do you respect that person? Do you look up to him? Do you want to model some of the things that they do in their life?
Yeah, we've mentioned this. We are not perfect. You know,
Oh my God.
we go through, we make a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of things that we are working on ourselves, and we try to communicate that. But we also want to make sure that we are working hard every day to show you what it's like to live a healthy lifestyle. Again, not that it's perfect,
Mhm.
and sometimes it's on purpose. Like we want to have a nice balanced life. We don't want to be obsessed with every single thing we do, and that's all part of it. But yeah, we definitely want whatever kind of coach you're going to hire to be able to have that knowledge and be able to practice what they preach.
Yeah, and oddly, I kind of in a weird way, like I like when I go through those own struggles in my own journey. It's like now I'm really working on recovery because I've been experiencing this fatigue, like I've been mentioning. It's just like my gut is messed up and hormones. So it's like this is great because like I get to learn more about how to navigate this and how I can better help clients with this too. So like for me, I oddly like I don't like going through it in the moment, but it's like after I'm like okay, like or as I'm going through, I'm like okay, this is great because like this is stuff I can help this client with. They're just like you're getting more tools in the tool belt and getting more experience which then can apply to how you serve other people.
Yeah, such a great point. And you go through things. There was a couple weeks where I was just like eating anything. I was just grabbing stuff. I'm like, why am I like obsessively like grabbing stuff to eat? And so I was like, this is a great learning lesson. And I'm sure a lot of my clients are going through things like this. So you want to kind of think about like, okay, so like what kind of adjustments can I make to solve this problem? And what am I not doing? What are the barriers that I have? And all these things that pop in my head, then it's like, I can use this to teach and help out my own clients and the struggles that they're going through as well.
Yeah, exactly.
All right. So we really do truly believe that everyone can benefit from a coach. Uh, but we're not quite sure everyone's in the right place sometimes to have a great coach. So how do you know if you're ready for a coach? So I think this is a big one because sometimes people say, I want a coach, let's just say financially, there's no issues there. They want to coach, but they're just not quite ready to commit, right? And so you still have to be willing to show up. You still need to communicate. I think communication, even from the client side of things, I think is extremely important. So you need to be able to communicate honestly, and you need to be able to put in the effort, right? So here are a few signs that, hey, you know what? Now's a great time to go ahead and get a coach. And I'm going to put aside not waiting until January to get
Yes.
one. Like if you're wanting one and this is you, like now, this is the perfect time to get this. Get a step up on the holidays. But anyway, so here's a few things, right? So you're tired of spinning your wheels and doing it alone. Like you're doing things and you think you're doing things well, but it's just not working out. You're open to feedback and you're willing to make changes. I think that's huge. Sometimes people just get so stuck in their ways that they could have the best coach in the world, but if they're not going to apply that feedback, they're not going to make any changes. You value accountability and you value structure. You're ready to play the long game and not looking for quick results. I think this is a big one because I think a lot of people, even though they'll tell you, yeah, like I want a long term thing, in the back of their mind, they're like, yeah, but I want to lose weight as fast as I possibly can. I want to look good in a bikini in 3 weeks, type of thing, which may not be realistic. Or if it is, like they can get there, they're going to gain it back, and it's not a sustainable, it's not a healthy way of treating themselelves. So we want you to be ready for that and know that okay, it may take some time, and maybe add the word patience. Maybe like you have some patience there, right? And the last one is you want to learn and you want to accelerate your progress and you want to get to a next level that you just can't achieve on your own.
Yeah, I think going off what you said about the long game, it's so important. And that's also why, kind of going back to what we were saying about the promises, like if coaches are like, oh, you lose 5 pounds in the first week or, whatever it is, just be a little skeptical because like I'll literally tell clients, I'm like, first phase or like our groundbreaking phase, like we're not even focused on weight loss. I mean, yeah, a lot of clients do lose weight in that phase, but it's like that's not our focus. Like we're building the foundation so that way you never have to lose weight ever again. So it's like a very different approach, and I think going in with that mentality is super important. Just knowing what to expect, and again, like having that process laid out for you.
Right.
But yeah, overall, like I truly believe coaching is for everyone. You just need to be ready to do your part and grow, because like a lot of people are like, why do you hire a coach? I'm like, because I want someone who's further above me. Like, yeah, like I'm like more above the average person, but like there's someone else that's above me, and then there's someone else that's above them. So it's like it's a never ending game, and it's fun to be able to learn from someone who's further along than you and really help you get to the next level and whatever you're trying to achieve. So I'm super fired up about it for me. And so yeah, just it's for everyone. It's just like you gotta be willing to do your part. Obviously, like it takes work, but we're in it together. And then a few questions that could be good to ask before hiring a coach. So, a few of my favorites to look out for is just like, again, kind of getting more clarity on some of the stuff we talked about, the green flags, the red flags, but it's like, how do you individualize your programs for different clients? What does that look like? What kind of communication or check ins do you offer? What is that going to look like day to day and week to week? What's the philosophy when it comes to training and nutrition? Because you want someone that's going to align with your values on that too. It's like if they're going to build you out a rigid meal plan, like yeah, that may work for bodybuilders, but is it realistic for your lifestyle? So just like again, there's no right or wrong with that. It's just like what is aligned with you and what you're looking for and the lifestyle that you want. And how do they handle adjustments if life gets busy or something isn't working? Like, are they able to go and adjust that stuff? And then obviously like the background, learn more about their insight. How long have they been coaching? Like what types of clients do they work with? Are they comfortable with people in your situation? So just getting clarity on those things can be helpful.
Yeah, and I think if it's online training, I think it's very important to have a lot of questions for them. You ask them about their lifestyle and their background, like you said, and how they handle certain situations, and not like you're interviewing them like per se, but you want to know more about them. Like we said, they may be a phenomenal coach, but may just not mesh with your personality or lifestyle. So kind of get to just have it like almost like a coffee shop conversation. Tell me more about you. Tell me more about why you like this and what what you'd have planned for me. And then one thing too is in person. If you're hiring an in-person trainer, I think it'd be great to watch that trainer with other clients. See how they respond to them. See how the clients respond to them. You've watched trainers before that are really good and not even thinking about their program or anything, just watching their interactions with the clients and the clients like smiling and laughing and they're having a good time and you can tell that it just like you said the vibe it's really good. They hang out with each other and they're having a really good 30 minutes, hour long session, whatever. And you can tell that when they're done with it, they're happy and they're full of energy. They feel better. I've also seen trainers and clients where it almost seems like the client's miserable,
Mm.
and the trainers looks like he or she is distracted. They're really only worried about what lift they're doing. They're watching other people. They're not really engaged in that client. It didn't look like they're really invested in that 30 minutes or hour or whatever. So I think that's important too to watch.
Yeah, definitely. I'm telling you, the vibes never fail. The vibes. When in doubt, go off of the vibes.
We're just on that, right? Green flag. The vibes match, right?
That's it. No, that's a
Nice.
good point because I have seen coaches do like I do. Naturally, I do that anytime I go to a gym. I'm always looking at the coaches and what they're doing, and obviously I pick up on a lot more. But it's like sometimes I see them like literally on their phone, like scrolling when the client is doing their workout. Like, what are you doing?
I hate that kind of stuff. But the other thing too is, as trainers, we don't look at each other as like enemies or competition. Like the good trainers like want to learn from each other. So I love talking to other trainers and learning about the things that they're doing, or maybe I see them doing something and say, "Hey, why are you doing that? Like that looked really cool." Or I hear them talking to another client, or maybe I talk to their client and learn more about it. So that's one thing too. I think a good trainer does is they interact with other trainers and
Hmm.
continually learn from other trainers. And like we meet all the time, right, with our group, with our team, and we learn from each other. And we're constantly talking about things that have worked really well, or some of the struggles that we have. And so I think that's really helped me as a trainer, big time.
Yeah, for sure.
All right, so just kind of a couple other things. A good coach should be transparent. I think they should be really confident about their knowledge and what they're doing, being able to explain their methods clearly, not being defensive if you question them or feel like they're really salesy. And then going back to the confidence thing, I also feel like it should be okay if they're like, honestly, I'm not quite sure, or I like this. I'm going to need to do a little more research on this. And again, it kind of shows that they're wanting to learn and continue to grow. Because I'll be honest, I don't know every single thing, and so there are things that I'm learning, or there's some things I know somewhat about, but I need to learn more about it. So I think that's good for a coach to be able to continue to want to grow and learn more about things, and not just be like, oh, we'll just do it this way because this way I've always done it. But and like we said, a good coach should also be okay with saying no if they don't feel like it's a good fit. If they're like,
Hmm.
hey, you seem like an awesome person, but I don't think that our my style and your personality is going to mesh. And so I'd like to see if I can find a trainer that probably would.
Hmm. Yeah, I think that is so important. I've done that multiple times too, whether it's just like what they're looking for doesn't necessarily align with our process. And like, I think you'd be a better fit for, this other coach that I know. Or just, again, like just the connection didn't match or I wasn't getting the communication that I need on mine. Like, I already tell it just wouldn't be successful. So, like, they should be okay with being like, oh, no, sorry, like, it's not a good fit. But, like, usually they'll try to go and find someone who is for you too.
Yeah.
And then also just want to briefly talk about price. I know everyone gets weird about this, but I'm just going to say typically you get what you pay for. If you want exceptional results, service, connection, don't cheap out on a coach. It's like looking for the cheapest surgeon or the cheapest tattoo artist, like not worth it. You get what you pay for.
Yeah, your health is the biggest, most important investment you'll ever make. So, I mean, people take better care of their car sometimes than their own body, and that's something you got to live with forever. So, yes, I understand price is an issue for a lot of people, but again, it is 100% completely worth it if you find a coach that is going to be your teammate and work with you and go through this journey together and help you to be more joyful and happier and get closer to your goals.
Yeah. So one thing we've already hit on it, but like this is so freaking important. It's just the coach client relationship goes both ways. You can have the best coach in the world, but if you're not communicating or implementing feedback, it's not going to work.
Yeah, exactly. The partnership is really built on trust and honesty. And your coach could be the most amazing coach in the world, but they're not going to be able to help you if you don't help them out and tell them what's really going on and share all the details and be open and honest and share your struggles and challenges, whether it's stress or missed meals or lack of sleep. And I think that's one thing that I've enjoyed so much about my clients is that they seem to be very honest and open, and I think that it's a double sided thing too. I don't think if I was willing to listen and be compassionate, considerate, that they'd want to share that as well. So I think,
Mhm.
a good coach is going to be able to take all that stuff you throw at them and be like, okay, I get it. Let's talk about it and let's work through it and figure out what's the best situation here.
Yeah, so well put. I and that's kind of what I was experiencing too with that last coach that I was talking about. It's like one, I didn't feel like I was being heard or understood at all. So it's like naturally I just wanted to close off. I'm like, okay, then I'm not gonna give you shit. Like I'm not gonna tell you anything. Like what's the point? And then naturally, like I'm not gonna get good results because no one knows what's going on. So it's just like that's what also was frustrating because like I know I'm like, all right, great. So now I'm screwed. I don't want to talk to her, but it's like now I'm not gonna get good results. So what do we do? So yeah, like communication is so important. Like as long as you communicate, you cannot fail. At least that's what I tell all our clients. Like I am very confident that as long as you can communicate, you're going to get amazing results. Period. It doesn't matter how much time you have. It doesn't matter if you failed in the past. Like that communication, that collaboration, that problem solving together is what's going to allow you to grow over time.
Yeah. So, okay, let's wrap this up. So, finding a great coach isn't about finding the best Instagram page or finding the coach that's going to give you the absolute lowest price. It's really about alignment. Find someone who understands you, someone that communicates clearly, prioritizes education, sustainability, and wants to be on your team, right? Coaching is not just about short term results, it's about creating long term change, giving you the tools to maintain it for life. So if you want a teammate, you want a partner in this journey, you want a coach that is team you all the way.
Yes. And if you're listening to this and you're thinking, that kind of sounds nice, might like that level of support, that's exactly what we do inside our Unbreakable Coaching and in our school community. So we'll help you build that structure, get the results, and be that team, be on that team with you. We want to actually understand you where you're at and help you along the process every step of the way. So if that is something that you're open to. We'll drop the link in the show notes if you want to apply or just learn more. But either way, we appreciate you guys tuning in, and we're grateful for all of you. Speaking of our gratitude, y'all are awesome, and we'll catch you in the next one.